Let's solve some cool chess puzzles in the French defense opening. Here is the first one. Two of black's pieces are attacking this d4 pawn and it's currently being protected only by this knight over here. So black thinks that he is getting a free pawn. So black happily captures the d4 pawn with his knight. But that's a mistake. Can you tell me why? Because white can now capture this knight for free. Well, you must be thinking now the queen can capture this knight back. But hey, that was a trap because white can now play queen a4 check, checking the black king as well as double attacking this bishop over here. Black blocks the check with his bishop and now queen takes b4 wins a piece for white. Let's move on to the second puzzle. Since white is controlling these key squares around the black's king, black gets uncomfortable and plays h6 in order to attack this bishop, asking him to go back. But that's a mistake. So can you find the best move for white now? So here the key thing to observe is, although our bishop is under attack, but if you look at the position of the black queen, it is kind of nearly trapped on the board. It cannot go to all of these squares, cannot come here, neither here, nor to these squares. And if this black queen is attacked, then she doesn't have any place to go back to save herself. So, considering this situation, white should not waste time in moving this bishop back. White should simply castle kingside, connecting both the rooks. And now if black makes a mistake of capturing this bishop, then his queen is gone. Because now you can attack the black queen with rook a1, queen moves to b2, and now rook f2 b1, and now the queen is trapped. It cannot go to any of these squares because all of these squares are under white's control. So queen takes rook, rook takes queen, and white is up in material because don't forget this rook is still trapped and white can capture this rook anytime whenever it wants to. Let's move on to puzzle number 3. Here black is up in material by 2 points, but it is white's turn to play. So can you find the best move for white? Well, to find the best move, you should see in which direction your pieces are pointing to. If you look at this bishop, it's pointing towards black's king side. This queen is pointing towards black's king side. This rook over here is sitting on the same file as black's king. So considering these 3 pieces, there has to be some combination of moves which can worsen black's position. So what is that move? So the correct answer is a brilliant rook sacrifice. Yes, rook takes g7 check. You are wide opening the position of black. If king captures the rook, then queen g5 check. King goes to h8 and now queen takes knight check. King moves to g8 and now can you find another brilliant move? Well, you need to get another piece on the king side. So the answer is knight takes d5, attacking the queen as well as threatening to checkmate on the e7 square. If pawn takes knight, then black loses his queen. Let's go back. So therefore, in this situation, black will take his queen back to the d8 square, where it can guard the square as well as offer a trade of queens. But you will not trade queens here and you will simply give knight e7 check and black is forced to give up his queen and now queen takes queen and this should be an easy win for white. Here is another tricky puzzle. The position is closed and the material is equal and here it is white's turn to play. So can you find out the best move for white which turns tables? Since the black queen has come on this side of the board and her only path to go back is this diagonal, then you should look for a move which blocks this path so that you can ultimately trap her. So the winning move over here is knight f6 check. Now if bishop takes knight, then you do not need to capture this bishop back because this bishop is successfully blocking the queen's path, the queen's diagonal to her way home. So the queen is kind of trapped. So now you will attack her with g3. The queen doesn't have any escape squares to go. So she will capture this pawn and now you win the queen. Let's go back. So here, if your opponent doesn't capture this knight and rather moves the king, then in that case too, you can attack this trapped queen with the move g3. Here is another cool one. Here, White captures this knight and attacks black's queen. So what should black play here? So if you capture back this knight, then your opponent will capture back this pawn with a fork attack on both of these pieces, and then you'll be simply down in material and there is no chance you can win this game. So let's go back. So after knight captures knight, the correct move over here is to attack this uncastled king. So the correct answer is queen h4 check. If king moves to f1, then he gets mated. So he might move to e2. But in that case, you can give another check with your queen. King moves to d3, and look how the king has come open wide in the center of the board. And after pawn takes knight, knight takes knight, rook d8 check. The only place that the king can go to is this c4 square. But then you can give another check with pawn takes bishop. King captures the pawn, and now rook b8 check, king to a4, and now bishop d7 is a checkmate. So let's go back. Therefore, the only logical move for white here is to block the check with g3. But now you can simply capture this pawn. Pawn captures back, and now you get the rook with a check. King moves, and now white can simply capture this queen. Rook captures queen. Pawn takes knight. Bishop takes pawn. Rook to b8, and black is just doing fine. Here is a tougher one. Here black's pawn is attacking this knight over here. So what should white play? So getting your knight back either to f3 or maybe h3 would not be good, because then you're playing very defensive. All of these pieces are pointing towards the king side. So you should try to make a move which blast opens this position. So the winning move over here is queen to g6. Yes, we are going to sacrifice our knight. By playing queen to g6, we are threatening checkmate on the h7 square. And obviously black doesn't want to get checkmated, so he's forced to capture this knight. Yes, we sacrifice the knight, but now we'll capture back with our h pawn, opening up this file for our rook. So black will move his queen to e8 in order to trade queens, but it's too late, because now we will play queen h7 check, king moves to f7, bishop h5 check, skewing black's pieces. King moves to e7, and now the queen is gone. Here is a mind-boggling puzzle. White is terribly down in material. He's down by 9 points. But it is white's turn in the game. So, can you find the winning move for white? So, the winning move here is queen to c5, threatening to checkmate on the e7 square. Black needs to save this checkmate, so he will capture this pawn with a check. King moves to c1. And now the queen will capture this bishop in order to stop the checkmate, and now you simply capture back the queen. Black plays knight to c6, unpinning this knight over here and thereby revealing the attack on this queen. But you'll play bishop takes knight, pinning this knight one more time, and pawn takes bishop, queen takes pawn, attacking the rook. Rook goes to b8, and now you'll make another sacrifice to open up this position by playing knight takes d5. If pawn takes knight, then white can now play e6, attacking this pinned piece over here. Black can't make the mistake of capturing this knight back, because otherwise this queen will capture back with a check on the king, and the king is wide open and it would be very risky with the knight around here. So black will play f6, attacking our knight. White plays queen to d6, keeping an eye on the rook one more time. The idea is to first capture this knight and followed by this rook over here. Rook moves to b6, attacking the queen. And now pawn takes knight check, forking black's pieces. Bishop takes pawn, and now queen captures pawn. If black captures the knight, then white is gonna equalize the game with queen a8 check. King moves to f7, and now this rook is gone. Let's solve the next puzzle. Here this knight is pinned to the black's queen. White's pieces are controlling all the important squares around black's king, and both of these rooks are ready to jump into action. So considering all of these points, can you find the winning move for white here? So if the black queen was not over here, then white could have easily checkmated on the e7 square, because it's controlled by two of white's pieces. But unfortunately, because this square is being guarded by this queen, so let's attack this defender. So the winning move over here is rook takes pawn. If pawn captures the rook, then black is getting mated soon, because white can now play rook e1 check. King cannot move anywhere, so he has to block the check, either with his knight to e5 or e7 or with his queen to e7. In either case, black is gonna lose his queen. If black blocks the check with knight to e7, then queen takes knight is a checkmate. This queen can capture back this knight because currently she is pinned to the black's king. Let's go back. If black plays knight to e5, then rook takes e5 would be checkmate. Let's go back. And if black plays queen to e6, then rook takes e6 check, pawn takes rook, and now queen e7 is a checkmate. Let's go back. And if black gets a queen on the e7 square, then queen takes e7 is an obvious checkmate. Do like this video and subscribe to my channel if you are enjoying this puzzle. And now here is another cool chess puzzle. Here it is white's turn to move. Can you tell me what is the best move for white? I'll give you 5 seconds to think. So the winning move over here is rook takes a6, and white has won a free piece. Because if black makes the mistake of capturing back this rook, then he will be checkmated with the move knight to c7. Here is the last one. Here, black is up in material by 1 point. So he thinks, let me just trade off pieces. So with that idea in mind, he plays the move queen to g4, thinking of trading queens over here. But it's a horrible mistake. Can you tell me why? Because white can win a free piece over here. The only defender of this queen is this knight over here. So white can now play rook takes knight, removing the only defender of the queen. If pawn takes rook, then black is losing his queen. Therefore, and if black now exchange queens, then white can simply capture back with his rook and be up in material. Do join the channel's membership program if you want to learn chess in detail. And now here is the question of the day for you. Here it is white's turn to move. Can you find the best move for white? Let me know your answers in the comments box and I'll see you in the next video.